Beep, beep, beep. My day started like any other typical day, but I couldn't get out of bed. I was feeling this fatigue, this tiredness. I felt like everything was happening around me in slow motion. As I saw the alarm clock, I knew I needed to get up. So I dragged myself to the coffee pot. The coffee pot always does the trick, but not in this case. Then I went for the shower. As the warm water was cascading over my shoulders, the drain caught my eye. And down there, it looked like there was a little ball of golden thread. And as I looked closer, I realized it was my hair. I grabbed my head, shrieked out tears, and I knew something was seriously wrong. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and especially my mom, Diana Fallucca, welcome to SpeechLESS. My thyroid cancer story is a much longer tale for another time. Today, I want to share the silver linings, the miracles that happened through that long, dark period. And yes, I said miracles and cancer in the same sentence. First, a short backstory. My mom had had a thyroidectomy in 2012. It was expected. She was taking pills, and her surgeon said when the time was come, they're going to do the surgery. Well, we were chatting about it, and I was telling her that my doctor was telling me, oh, you're 40, gaining weight and losing hair is normal. Losing hair is normal. Losing clumps of hair is not normal. Then my mom shared she was having an ankle pain, not like arthritis, but a very specific pain. And then I got the pit in my stomach. You all know the one where doom is coming. And I sat there and it dawned on me I was having the exact same ankle pain. I picked up the phone and called the doctor and I said, I need to have a thyroid test. And the doctor said, we can't do it. It's not hereditary. That's not the problem. And that stomach ache came back. And I said, okay, I demand it, whether I have to pay for it, whatever we need to do, I need a thyroid test. Not only did the test come back unfavorable, I had to do a needle aspiration biopsy. Out of 6 needles, 5 came back margin for cancer. There was no treatment. There was no time for pills. I was scheduled for surgery within the month. I had to think about not working and what I was going to do. And then I thought, what's going to happen while I take the time off? I was just flooded with emotions. After the surgery, I didn't realize the doctor just didn't take my thyroid and my parathyroid. They took the next 5 years of my life, giving me the wrong medication. I had to get new doctors. It went on and on. I was speechless, literally, as my throat healed. And I was speechless emotionally. I just didn't know what was going to happen next. And it was really scary. Wow, this sounds pretty dark for a holiday party, doesn't it? Let's get on to those miracles. The first miracle that was bestowed upon me was understanding and listening to my intuition. We all have that little voice in our head. Some of us, the hair stands up on the back of our neck. For others, we get a stomach ache. But we all know when doom is coming, much like an earthquake or a natural disaster. We feel it coming before it does. And if I had not taken action when the doctor said thyroid cancer wasn't hereditary, I would have had a very different tale, different story. The second miracle, my friend came over shortly after surgery and she was asking me, what's something you've always wanted to try that you haven't tried yet? And I immediately said painting, and she immediately said, you'd be great at that. Why haven't you tried it? And I said, well, I was a young marketing director. I hadn't gone to college yet. I didn't have leadership training, and I was kind of mean to people. I was a perfectionist. I had super high expectations, and it was really hard to work for me. And I thought, wow, if I tried to create things and put it out into the world, that karma would come for me. So I didn't create. So the very next day, my girlfriend shows up on my doorstep and she has a canvas and paint in her hand. And she said, Kelly, I don't care what you do, but there's going to be something on that canvas when I come back on Friday. I was so angry at her. And then this flood of excitement all at once merged. And I realized I was having this out-of-body experience. I started painting, and I swear, friends, I can't tell you who painted that painting. It wasn't me. It came from emotion and my soul and pent up energy from not creating all those years. And when I finished that painting, I stood back in awe. It was my very first painting, and I gave it to my mom. This is my first painting. And every time I go to her living room, she hung it up in her living room. It's still there today. And that little stomach ache I used to get is now a feeling of, wow, I created something like that. It's amazing. The second thing that happened during that second miracle was I experienced the feeling of being able to create without judging myself. Many times we set out to do a project and we say, okay, I have to do this, this, and this. It's got to look like this. But when you're in the state of any state, emotion, elation, anger, joy, you start creating from a place within you that you're not directing. And it's an amazing experience. The third miracle that happened to me was my creativity exploded from that experience. I now had a insatiable urge to watch thousands of hours of YouTube. I taught myself more painting techniques. I even taught myself to cook. I was in my 30s before I even tried cooking because I had worked for companies that had expense accounts. My dad will tell you I could burn water. And so you should all know that it's never too late to try a new passion. Some of the things that came from that time period, here are a couple of my paintings. And here's my food. I think over the years, I had more fun styling the food and making it pretty than I did actually cooking it. I love to take pictures of it. I share this with you all, not to show off my talents, but to ask you to show up in your life. Listen to those little voices of intuition. What do you want to try? Do you want to cook? Do you want to paint? Do you want to build relationships, businesses? Do you want to write a killer icebreaker speech? Try it. It's all there for you. You just have to ignore the little voices in your head and remember that creating is our birthright. We don't need degrees and education and tutorials to start to create. Degrees and educations and tutorials, they just make us better and better. So friends, what in your life is holding you back? Do you have a fear of something? Is your negative talk stopping you? Don't let you become speechless in your life. Madam Toastmaster.